What if Derek Jeter, the face of the New York Yankees, the captain, the calm in the chaos, had never become the heart of the Bronx? What if, through a twist of fate, his baseball destiny was hijacked by another team entirely, the Cincinnati Reds? It sounds almost impossible, but in the fragile ecosystem of baseball history, the smallest change in the 1992 MLB draft could have rewritten everything. Let's step into that alternate timeline. The year is 1992. The Cincinnati Reds, fresh off their early 90s championship glory, are searching for their next cornerstone player, a franchise shortstop who could define the next decade. In our real world, the Reds' scouting department had their eyes on a high school phenom from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Derek Jeter. The Yankees, picking sixth, were desperate to rebuild their image after years of decline. But in this alternate universe, the Reds' front office decides to trust their scouts and pull the trigger. With the fifth overall pick in the 1992 MLB draft, the Cincinnati Reds select Derek Jeter, shortstop, Kalamazoo Central High School. The crowd barely reacts. The Yankees table goes quiet. In a single heartbeat, the future of baseball changes. Jeter's journey begins not in the towering skyline of New York, but in the quiet working-class city of Cincinnati. Instead of donning the navy pinstripes, he slips on the Reds' iconic red and white uniform. There's no Derek Jeter debuting under Yankee Stadium's lights. No Mr. November chants echoing through the Bronx. Instead, he is just another young player trying to earn his place in the shadow of the Big Red Machine's history. The Reds, still structured around veterans like Barry Larkin and Eric Davis, are cautious. Jeter starts in the minors, Charleston, Chattanooga, Indianapolis, grinding through hot summer nights and long bus rides, his determination slowly catching the attention of Reds management. His personality is the same, quiet, respectful, obsessive about preparation. But Cincinnati isn't New York, and the spotlight burns less brightly here. There are no back pages, no tabloids, no media frenzy waiting to crown or crush him. By 1996, Derek Jeter finally breaks into the Reds' starting lineup. But the timing is different. Cincinnati isn't contending the way New York was. The mid-90s Reds are talented but inconsistent, flashes of brilliance surrounded by frustration. In this timeline, Jeter's rookie season isn't backed by a powerhouse roster featuring Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and Bernie Williams. Instead, he is surrounded by a rotating cast of veterans and rookies trying to rediscover the magic of the past. Jeter's calm demeanor still stands out, but without the Yankees' championship culture, it's harder for him to shine nationally. His batting average hovers around .290, his defense smooth, his leadership evident. But Cincinnati isn't on primetime TV. ESPN highlights show him occasionally, but he's not the face of baseball. Meanwhile, in New York, the absence of Jeter leaves a void. The Yankees' dynasty never forms the same way. Without his leadership at shortstop, the clubhouse doesn't have that steadying presence. The 1996 Yankees still have young talent, but they lack the intangible spark that tied them together in real life. Maybe they still win. After all, Torre and Rivera are still there, but it's not the same magic. The core four never fully forms. Posada and Petit don't have their captain, their North Star. The Yankees might win a title or two, but they never become the dynasty that defined the late 1990s. Baseball's balance of power shifts quietly toward the National League, where Jeter is developing into a star, just in smaller headlines. By 1998, Jeter's breakout arrives. He hits .320, makes the All-Star team, and becomes the quiet leader of a resurgent Reds team trying to keep pace in a league dominated by power hitters and inflated home run totals. The steroid era is in full swing, but Jeter remains the same, disciplined, consistent, a throwback to pure baseball fundamentals. Fans in Cincinnati love him for it. They start calling him the captain too, but on a smaller scale. He's respected, but not mythic. When the Reds make a playoff push in 1999, it feels like destiny. The young shortstop leading his underdog team against the league's giants. But this time, the ending isn't storybook. The Reds fall short in a tiebreaker game, eliminated just before October glory. Jeter sits in the dugout staring into the distance. The same calm face we know, but behind it the sting of knowing how close he came. Across the country, the Yankees of this alternate world feel the absence of something intangible. They have stars, yes, Tino Martinez, Bernie Williams, Rivera, but their chemistry is brittle. They lose to the Braves in 1996, never recover the same momentum, and by the early 2000s their dynasty window closes before it truly begins. Without Jeter's leadership and clutch DNA, New York's baseball identity shifts. They remain powerful, but not legendary. The Yankees' aura never quite materializes. Meanwhile in Cincinnati, Jeter's slow-burn career becomes a model of consistency. By the early 2000s, he's a veteran leader, the cornerstone of the Reds lineup. He is not a media darling, but he is the player every manager dreams of having. Young players learn from him, fans respect him, and opponents admire his calm competitiveness. The real-world Yankee Stadium moments, the flip play, the diving catch into the stands, the Mr. November home run, never happen. But in this reality, Jeter creates his own lore. A walk-off single in a 2003 wild card game, a clutch double against the Cubs in the 2001 NLCS, a quiet but unforgettable leadership presence that holds the Reds together through ups and downs. Instead of being a global superstar, he becomes a Midwest legend, baseball's version of understated greatness. He wins maybe one MVP, but his legend is local, not international. Yet to those who watched him every day, he's still Derek Jeter, the embodiment of professionalism, the man who made excellence look effortless. But the ripple effects of this timeline stretch far beyond one player. Without Jeter's Yankees dynasty, baseball's cultural explosion of the late 1990s takes a different path. The Yankees never become the global brand they did in reality. No iconic World Series runs, no crossover into pop culture, no Jeter as icon on magazine covers. Baseball's biggest ambassador becomes someone else. Maybe Ken Griffey Jr., maybe Chipper Jones, maybe even Barry Bonds, before controversy dims his light. The sport evolves differently, less centered on the Bronx, more balanced across markets like St. Louis, Atlanta, and Cincinnati. By 2009, Derek Jeter, still in Cincinnati, now 35 years old, faces the twilight of his career. He's not chasing 3,000 hits in front of 50,000 fans in Yankee Stadium. He's doing it quietly in Great American Ballpark, where the fans still stand cheering for their captain. When he finally gets that milestone hit, a line drive to right field, the crowd erupts. There are no flashbulbs from coast to coast, no viral replays on every sports network, but the emotion is pure. His teammates embrace him. The Reds honor him. Baseball historians take note. A legend has lived and retired in the heartland. Jeter's retirement in this alternate reality is quieter but no less meaningful. No Derek Jeter Day at Yankee Stadium. No coast-to-coast farewell tour. Just a humble man walking away from the game he loved, the same way he played it, with grace, composure, and respect. The legacy he leaves behind isn't one of global fame, but of integrity. Coaches across generations still tell young players, be like Jeter. The lesson endures. Leadership isn't about the market you play in, but the standard you set. And when we zoom out to see the larger picture, the what if becomes poetic. Baseball history, as fragile as it is vast, can hinge on a single draft pick, one decision, one phone call, one scout's conviction. The difference between a global icon and a regional hero can be just 5 spots in a draft order. In this world, Derek Jeter never becomes the captain of the Yankees, but he still becomes the captain, just of a different kind of team in a different kind of city. The lights are dimmer, but the respect is just as bright. And maybe that's the beauty of this alternate reality. It reminds us that greatness doesn't depend on geography. Derek Jeter's destiny, whether in New York or Cincinnati, was always built on humility, work ethic, and quiet excellence. The Bronx didn't make him, he made himself. And in this world where the Reds took a chance, baseball history changes. But Derek Jeter remains Derek Jeter, the man who, no matter the uniform, still played the game the right way.